Hey Gary, I'm getting back with you on a little bit about the pensions. Nothing to do with the livers or kidneys, and more on the monetary, side of it. And having your own website, and doing your own thing, does entitle you uh, to ignore, things that people say and do, and I could let you ignore them and try to work around them, but I won't. Um, Gary, for some reason, which I have no idea what it is, uh, you have an inability to understand what I'm talking about when I talk about money, and you substitute your idea, which is that money is currency and currency is money, for my idea, okay, which is that everything that falls in the rubric of money is money, okay? Currency. I'm mentioning it here to disown it as part of my dialogue, what I'm dialoguing about, okay? I'm not only mentioning it, I want to do away with it. I want to agree with you with what you say about currency within the context of clarifying I'm not talking about currency. I've never been talking about currency. Money is not currency. Currency is money. But currency is only one of the components of money. Okay? Currency is about 2% of the component of the system of money, the quantity of money. Yes, the money supply. When you use the term money supply and you said, oh, that's wrong, it's really currency. No, you were wrong. It's really the money supply. Okay? It's really money. Money is the money supply. Currency, printing, things that we print, the things that represent about 2% of the money supply, come into existence within the banking and credit system and the monetary system, entering into the financial system, not yet into the economic system yet, Gary. If you really understand systems, this is systems analysis, okay? The currency portion of the money system comes into play when the Federal Reserve, as you said, exchanges new money for old money. A, that's how the new money comes in. And then B, as an increase when demanded by the banks for the purpose of having sufficient cash either to meet their reserve requirements or to meet the real demand for cash out there in the real economy. Okay? Now, I think we acknowledge and we agree. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing, on order of the Fed, prints up tens, twenties, fifties, and hundreds and ones, charges them the printing cost, which is about something like a quarter of a cent, I think, um, and ships them over to the Federal Reserve. They're not money yet, okay? They're money when the Federal Reserve takes them and deposits them to either Federal Reserve banks or the member banks of the Federal Reserve, in which case they're lent into existence, okay? They're lent into existence. They have to be collateralized by the bank that gets them, okay? So they're an obligation to pay. They represent debt. They're part of the debt money system. Very small part of the debt money system. When I'm talking about fixing the debt money system, I'm not talking about fixing the currency. I'm talking about fixing the bigger M's, and then even the things that are outside the M's. So just to clarify, there's about 1.7 trillion of currency in circulation somewhere, in circulation that is, okay, and approximately half of that's outside the country. Um, that's all. That's the little that we know because it's reported, whether it's really true or not, we don't know. I'm not talking about currency. Okay? When I say the government needs to print $200 billion next year, I'm talking about creating it as computer entries onto the accounts of the depositors of this country. That's how that comes in. So it enters into as bank credits. Bank credits. Increasing the amount of bank credit money, okay, available, increasing it by whatever amount the government pays it into that it doesn't receive in taxes. Okay, I thought try to make that clear in many of the other videos about how it works, and all that stuff, Gary. So for some reason I'm back here, doing the same thing over and over again, and I don't know why you don't get it. I don't know why you don't get it. Well, moving on to the need to reform the whole monetary system. Okay, M3, like Pete said, they've really created more than $700 billion of money every year for the last 15 years. Money, things that serve as money, things that are the same as money, things that are money, things that are exchangeable for money. Okay, 700 billion. Okay, imagine that, 700 billion. More, really, more when you include these last few years. So the excess reserves that were created by the Federal Reserve, crediting the accounts of the banks on their reserve accounts, those excess reserves are money. Okay, are they currency? Hell no. You know, there's like I think it's starting to approach $900 billion of excess reserves. They're money. Are they currency? No, they're not. So you need to overcome, some kind of a intellectual block that you've got going on because you're hanging on to back there your idea about the wealth, the too much wealth, and me agreeing about the concentration of wealth, not agreeing on how to undo it with you. Okay, the pensioners, the government pensioners. Well, no different from any other pensioner. Okay, I mean, we agree about that. What is that money? Isn't that money that's really earned by them when they deposit it? So you take back to collective bargaining. We're going to have wages and we're going to have benefits, and one of those benefits might be health care, not usually, but one of them might be a savings plan, a contribution to a savings plan, which goes into the retirement. Okay. Uh, well, they've earned that money, and they're going to put it someplace. And if somebody's going to use that money, they deserve a right to have a return on it, don't they? Okay, they do. So, what level of return? Comparable level of return than everybody else would get, or that they could earn on it if they invested it somewhere. They let the pension fund invest it. Now, of course, state pension funds and pension funds, did very wrong things because they were convinced by the financial marketeers, okay, that they could arbitrage their ability to issue bonds, okay, and then take the money from the issuance of the bonds and bet them, if you will, in the financial markets where they could get a much better return, okay, and that arbitrage gain going to go into the retirement accounts of the employees. I happen to be a very small pension beneficiary of the state of Vermont